you'll notice the difference in what I'm doing is when I'm coming in for my strikes, my weapon rotates around my elbow. The difference is oftentimes you're going to see this motion where guys are coming in and they're rotating around their wrist. The problem is that's consistently keeping your weapon, or your weapon hand, as the primary target of your opponent within the target zone, okay? When you rotate around your elbow, you'll notice your range with your primary target is always changing, whether it's chambering back here, and it's not a matter of speed. It's a matter of target presentation around your opponent, okay? So when you're striking, when you're practicing your primary striking sets, every FMA system has a numbered set. They tend to vary both between systems and between gyms, where if I'm coming from a basic 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't want to be coming 1, 2, 3, 4, because what's going to happen is I get in this habit of presenting my target, I get in the habit of presenting my opponent's target far too regularly. Beyond that, when you move away from stick into an edged weapon, you put yourself in a situation where my blade, my edge, I want to keep my edge cutting from their shoulder, typically to their hip. I come in 1. That carries through. If I come in 1 and rotate at the wrist, they start catching flat midway. This is where it matters, right in the middle. So if I come in, rotate from the wrist, I'm changing my orientation super consistently. And it's because it's so consistent, it becomes a more available target. If you're constantly doing this, you're presenting a target that you can't prevent your opponent from capitalizing on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you'll notice I'm not bringing my weapon behind my body. I'm keeping it in front of this line. The back of my front pockets is generally as far back as my weapon should go. There's going to be some variation. Here you'll see it comes back a little bit, but that's ameliorated by the fact that my elbow isn't on or past my center line, carrying that weapon behind me. If you orient from your elbow, as opposed to your wrist, that's going to consistently give you positions that your body's able to work from and work out of. And again, because everything is based on repetition, you're going to make sure that your training practices are working in your favor, because going through the motions doesn't give you anything. All it means is that you went through the motions. You need to make it combative from the beginning of the class to the end of the class, from the beginning of your time training to the end of your time training. If you don't do that, you put yourself in a situation where you're at risk and your training is kind of not worth anything at the same point anyways, because again, you don't know who you're facing. You don't know what you're going to come up against, okay? Train to your greatest advantage 100% of the time, and you'll come out on top.
Thanks for watching. This video today is brought to you by the Gen 2 Phenolic Collar Sticks. Get yours at BudoBrothers.com.
In a typical where you have like a non-natural material, you're going to have this rubbing partly because of you don't have a solid grip to get onto.
Right.
If you're training with rattan or anything to that effect, it works because it's not going to rub the same, because you're going to have that varnish it removes where you hold it.
Yeah.
But the difference is when you have a good solid grip on the weapon, you don't have the movement inside your grip that when you have these, like, again, these cold steel ones or these other poly type materials that are going to, most of them bend, right? So your points where you're coming in and you're contacting your opponent's weapon, now your weapon's like bananaed up towards you and things aren't where they're supposed to be. You know, so the grips are going to make a huge difference in terms of your longevity in training. If you end up with blisters on the insides of your hands every time you're training with a non-natural material, you're always going to steer away from doing it because, oh, I can do 30 minutes, 40 minutes with that, and then my hand hurts so much I can't keep on going. So this is like perfect. It's a brilliant design.